boys. Most girls love these things. If girls feel they aren't shit, they go for the other gender for attention. But what isn't better than a little boy with a big ego? These days, it's all or nothing with them. Either have all the hoes or be a lame without getting quote-unquote any. If a boy didn't acknowledge you, you are irrelevant. A life without boys is not a life worth living. I tripped before my foot could touch the first step. I moved some kinks out of my eyes to see the asshole who bugs my nerves 5 days out of the week.
Oops, I'm so sorry. If you didn't wear those run-over Doc Martens every day, you wouldn't trip so much.
The bitch laughed through her glossed lips and began to walk off. Her vile critters followed behind her with their witch laughs echoing. Cheyenne 30. The hottest girl in school since she moved here in 9th grade. I always laughed to myself seeing how when she first started here at Parkmore, she was very similar to me. Dusty appearance, didn't say much, and just an all-around nerd. Soon, though, she caught on to how high school worked. Just 3 months into 9th grade, and her nudes leaked. Now, most people would label her as a hoe, right? But no. The boys at my school worshipped the chick who was quote-unquote hot as fuck. Then and there, she started to make a name for herself. Even changed it from Teresa to Cheyenne. I finally picked myself up off the ground and continued up the concrete stairs. Every high school has those girls that think they are the shit and beyond. They're just obscene and dumb in my opinion. But was high school without the world's bitch breed? Eventually, I made it to my first block and, of course, was stared down. I rushed to my seat before anyone could throw a paper ball at me as if it was 2007. Right when I sat down, the bell rang. The casual sequence of events fell into place. I took my notebook out of my bag and started the question of the day. What are your plans for the future? It seemed we had the same question every day, but always in a different form. Class moved on. Mr. Jefferson started his lesson, we did a class exercise, and then we started our individual worksheets on polynomials. I was focusing mad hard until about 30 minutes into the worksheet when he started to whisper my name.
Hey, Meilani.
I tried to ignore him. He didn't want anything important anyways. I continued to write the notes hoping he would just shut up, but of course he was just getting started. I felt the breeze of a pencil being thrown above my head.
Damn.
He punched his desk in anger. I was still ignoring him, but I quit writing. This was an everyday thing. At 10:30, he does nothing but whisper my name for attention, and I swear to myself I won't answer him every time. A folded piece of paper landed on my desk with a smiley face written on its cover. I unfolded the mystery and regretted it.
Mrs. Jones, may I see that?
I looked to see my teacher, Mr. Jefferson, with his hand out.
Oh, that's mine. I don't know how that got there. I'm so sorry, Mr. J.
Casey reached his hand to try and take the paper, but he was a second late. Mr. Jefferson snatched the note in a flash.
Hey, May, you look pretty today. Can you give me the answer to 5 and 16? Cash.
The ignorant teacher ended up reading the note out loud. The whole class started to snicker.
So you guys are cheating?
I stared at my desk, zoning out. I really didn't have time for this.
Well, May and Cash, both of you can find your way to the office with this.
Mr. Jefferson folded the note back up and threw it onto my desk. I finally zoned back into reality. Before I knew it, the principal was calling my parent. I looked over at Casey and his face read guilt. I didn't really care because I didn't cheat and I damn sure didn't do anything wrong. The principal hung up the phone and began to rub his temples.
Meilani, you are free to go. One more slip up and you won't be going to homecoming. As for you, Casey, stay put.
I got up, not even looking back, like what he said was a threat to me, please. The rest of the day was straight annoying. Everyone was so worried about Casey because no one had seen him after we were sent to the office. My mind tells me he was punished to ISI for the day. It was now lunch and I was sitting by myself. Picking up my mashed potatoes, I caught a glance of Chris. The finest boy in school. I know I'm not much of a follower, but one thing me and these stink-ass females at Parkermore had in common was the attraction for that fine-ass man. He stood tall, towering over every girl here. His face had dimples, freckles, and cheekbones all at once. And he was Parkermore's basketball star, and the boy wasn't even on the team. If that doesn't scream fine as hell, I don't know what does. I jumped at the sound of a tray dropping on the table left of me. I didn't even know I was staring. I looked up to see him. A smirk crept on my face for a split second and immediately disappeared.
This your fault, you know.
He sat next to me with a smile on his face. His smile made me glow up inside. I didn't do anything, but do I really look pretty today? I batted my eyes in an attempt to look cute. He laughed, almost spitting out a fry. What people don't understand about me and Casey is we are close friends. Since he moved here in 5th grade, we've always been close. Eventually, the crowd got to him, but he never left me for anyone. To this day, we joke around. He is more known than I am, like everyone else, but he doesn't let his reputation get in the way of our friendship.
You a ass. They held me in that bitch for hours.
He flashed his pearly whites. Before I could speak again, I felt a cold, wet sensation fall down my back. My mouth fell open when I realized it was milk.
Yo, what's your problem?
Casey jumped up, promptly drying my back with napkins. Don't kill this hoe. Don't kill this hoe. Don't kill this hoe. My mind kept telling me because I knew exactly who did this.
It was an accident. My tray tipped over and my milk happened to open. Forgive me, Cash.
Cheyenne's voice rang through my ears. His patting began to slow, and I could feel his aura softening.
Yeah, man, just do it again.
I looked up at him in repulsion. Is this guy serious? I yanked away from his touch and ran off to the bathroom. Some friend Casey turned out to be. Once I made it, I took my shirt off and continued where he left off. My mind was raging. How could he believe that bullshit she made up? It was an accident, really? What was her purpose for pouring milk down my back? As I cleaned up in a fury, I heard the bell ring. Great. My back was wet, my shirt was wet, and now I was going to be late to class. I finished up as fast as I could, threw my soggy shirt back on, and made my way to class. And of course, I couldn't even step foot into the class because I was turned right back around.
You are late, and the only way you are making it back into this class is if you have a tardy pass. Now go get one.
Miss Nettles protested. I groaned in distress. Who do these teachers think they are? Dragging myself to the principal's office for the second time today, I got my tardy pass and made it back to class. Again, I was stared at like a freak. The worst part about this was Chris was in the class with me. I was so embarrassed. The one boy I did like probably thought I was even more odd. I made it to my seat and placed my head down on the desk, my wild mane covering me up. The rest of my school day was peachy. Casey tried to speak to me again later, but I just ignored him. I couldn't believe the only boy I was associated with, my best friend, did me dirty. I don't know what I was expecting though. What could he have done? Arrested her? I couldn't even be mad though, because this was a normal day for me.